3 years ago, on a train ride in Europe, I stumbled across a YouTube video by popular video essayist Wendigoon, the complete Five Nights at Freddy's story explained. I'd been a fan of the game theorists for a while and had seen their FNAF theories floating around, but the series always seemed too inaccessible, like I had to be taking detailed notes to understand even generally what was going on. But this Wendigoon video was captivating. It wasn't told as a collection of cryptic, hyper-specific details. It was told as a story, with characters who felt and interacted and made interesting decisions. I got shivers when Henry gave his connection terminated speech, because I cared about who he was and what he was doing. I was hooked, and I wanted more. I started tuning in to new game theory FNAF videos. I reveled in the mysteries surrounding Evan, the Fazbear Frights books, the new security breach, and I loved it. It was so cool to me, the way all these puzzle pieces came together, the seeming deep intentionality of everything. It was satisfying, fulfilling, and I wanted more of that. I'd been avoiding the older theories because I knew they'd been contradicted by the more recent ones, but I loved hearing MatPat talk about this franchise that he loved and that I loved, so I'd go click on random theories from a few years ago, and they were great. This fictional universe of animatronics and ghost children and serial murderers had, in some strange way, become my comfort. One night, while playing some game, I put on the Game Theory FNAF playlist as some background noise. I'd never actually listened to the earliest FNAF theories, but I was expecting something similar to the ones I'd seen, maybe with a slightly less refined style, but all of the same content I was used to. But there was something strange about the first video that came on. It wasn't about animatronics or ghost children or serial murderers, at least not in the way I'd known. The video started with a lighthearted parody of YouTube overreactions at the time, the classic game theory intro, and a general synopsis of the game's plot. Nothing out of the ordinary for a game theory video. But then this happened.
December 1993, Aurora, Colorado. 10 p.m. Tuesday night at a local Chuck E. Cheese. After a family birthday party runs long, manager Margaret Kohlberg and teenage employees Sylvia Crowell, Ben Grant, Colleen O'Connor, and Bobby Stevens are forced to stay late to close up shop. But as Margaret tallies receipts in the back, Bobby scrubs down the kitchen, and the other three work outside in the main arcade. Unknown to any of the five, there's actually a sixth person locked in the building with them, waiting silently in the darkened restrooms. A 19-year-old named Nathan Dunlap.
MatPat goes on to explain, in detail, the following murders that took place. In a video about My Comfort series, the often non-serious and lighthearted Matthew Patrick tells me about what he calls a disgusting waste of human life. Shortly after, he theorizes that these murders may have been the inspiration for the creation of FNAF. While I'm sure that it could have been perceived as insensitive to compare a real-life tragedy to a video game, I think MatPat does a good job navigating the subject matter. He never downplays or sugarcoats the murders, consistently reasserting that he's not going to make jokes about such a serious topic. But, taking a step back here, what? What just happened? Why was this theory so much more than everything that came after it? What happened to the FNAF lore? I think it's in moments of complete shock and confusion like these that it's best to look at the fundamental big ideas of the video. MatPat isn't comparing the real deaths of real people to the lore of a video game. He's exploring the way video games can be used to represent serious real-world events in the same way other artistic mediums can. He's not lowering the trauma of murder to the level of a video game. He's raising the potential for video game storytelling to the level of real trauma. This video is beautiful to me. It's a testament to the creative power of video games and their legitimacy as storytelling devices, made by someone who cares deeply about those things. Through analysis, MatPat is not only able to tell a compelling, haunting, and real story, but make a point about an underrepresented facet of a certain medium. I don't know if Scott had any of this on his mind while making FNAF. I could see it either way, but ultimately, I don't think it matters. The beauty of art is in its openness to interpretation, and the meaning that MatPat finds is just as legitimate as any other. After watching this video, I began to lose interest in the series, both the games and the theories. Every new installment in the franchise and every 5 new theories about them felt like a slap in the face to Margaret Kohlberg, Sylvia Crowell, Ben Grant, Colleen O'Connor, and Bobby Stevens. That's what FNAF was to me, and it angered me that it was something else to Matt, Pat, and Scott, the authors of that meaning I'd grown so attached to. I developed this idea that every subsequent theory and game was ruining the emotional impact of that video that I'd loved. That everyone cared more about fictional animatronics than real people. That I'd watched the death of a good story. But that's stupid. Who am I to decide how other people make their own games and run their own YouTube channels? And more importantly, who am I to wish away the joy and love and passion of so many players, theorists, content creators, game developers, and fans that I disagreed with? The truth is that FNAF has become far more than a game that may or may not have referenced a series of murders at a Chuck E. Cheese. It's a community, a giant one, and to wish away what I saw as bad storytelling would be to wish away the talent, skill, and effort of millions and millions of people. No matter how disinterested I am in the newest lore, the next big piece of a puzzle I don't care about, I can in good conscience say that FNAF is anything short of a miracle. Thank you. Here's like the part in video essays where if you have like a Patreon or like a YouTube membership, all of like the members' names will be scrolling down the screen. But I don't have any of those. So here's like some levels that I beat recently in Geometry Dash. Yeah, this was a very spontaneous video that I've made. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing more stuff like this, but it was fun and I did it all in one day, which is good for me because normally I procrastinate on this kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, it was just an interesting thing I'd been thinking of and wanted to share it in some way. So if you enjoyed, then let me know and maybe I'll do more of this in the future. Okay, thanks, bye.